House Bill 230, an act relating to the taxation of the commercial mining of cryptocurrency. Representative Rudy.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, would you have the clerk report House Committee Substitute 1, please?
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 230.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, seemingly every day in the news we see headlines about the growth of digital assets and blockchain. You can't miss the headlines about the sharp increase in the price of Bitcoin, the most prominent cryptocurrency. Within the last month alone, Tesla has disclosed a $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin, and MasterCard has announced that it will allow merchants to accept digital payments on its networks. The computing power needed to mine those digital assets is a process called hashing, and hashing requires an incredibly powerful and energy-intensive infrastructure. Traditionally, the vast majority of blockchain mining has taken place in China. However, with growing concerns about China's totalitarian government, as well as the need to meet our growing demand for digital assets, more and more companies are looking to locate mining facilities in the United States. I would love for those mining facilities to look here at Kentucky, to locate here. After all, Kentucky is well positioned with an attractive place for these facilities and an abundant and affordable power available for these sites, especially in our rural areas. In fact, one such site is already here in Kentucky, Core Scientific in Calvert City. Core Scientific is a company led by the former COO of Microsoft. They're investing $45 million in the Commonwealth to convert an idle steel mill into a 260,000 square foot large-scale blockchain mining facility. There will be many jobs created for Marshall County with this and the surrounding areas, and those jobs will lead to people who pay property taxes and sales taxes on things that they purchase at our local stores and restaurants. Their local spending will lead to even more investment and more tax revenue in our communities. In addition to direct employment, Core Scientific will utilize local businesses during construction and continue to do so for ongoing maintenance needs. It is a heavy energy consumption. Core Scientific will become one of the best customers of TVA and Jackson Purchase Energy. The salaries and taxes paid by those vendors add to Core Scientific's economic impact. For many years, Kentucky and many other states have offered tax exemptions for power and use, or for power used in traditional manufacture, mining, and industrial processing. This is not traditional, but it is certainly a new and emerging industry. By offering the very same tax exemptions for power usage that we currently offer, which can represent as much as 60% of the cost of goods sold in cryptocurrency, House Bill 230 is designed to encourage even more investment in the Commonwealth like Core Scientific. As the first state to extend the first exemption of this, in this technological form of mining, like cryptocurrency, Kentucky would jump to the front of the line to locate other facilities. The members of this body know. Many of you I have told no many, many times on tax expenditures. Sometimes I told you no after previously sponsoring those bills before. But I am convinced that we have narrowly tailored this close enough that will position the Commonwealth of Kentucky for growth. In the committee sub, there is a sunset clause, and we will receive annual reports on the amount of the tax exemption claimed each year. Yes, those A&R chairs can be hard to get things by. The new one may be harder than the old one, with you see a low number like 230, and we're just now getting to vote on it today. But, Mr. Speaker, Kentucky has an opportunity to be a national leader with an emerging industry. House Bill 230 is a way to do that. But to ensure that this only deals with mining facilities similar in size and scope to other industries like this, those traditional ones I talked about, today I filed House Floor Amendment 1. House Floor Amendment 1 that is loaded in your computers already will make it even more tailored and more narrowly, only allowing it to do facilities that consume no less than 200,000 kilowatt hours per electricity per month. Mr. Speaker, I would ask for a suspension of the rules to consider Floor Amendment 1.
Motion is for a suspension of the rules for the purpose of allowing the gentleman to call and act upon House Floor Amendment 1. Motion is not debatable, requires a constitutional majority of 51. Those in favor, vote aye. Those opposed, nay. And the roll call machine is open for your vote. Clerk will take the roll. Being 84 members voting in favor, rules are suspended. Gentlemen, your motion, or your House Floor Amendment 1 is now in order.
Mr. Speaker, would you have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 1?
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 230.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, it inserts one paragraph on page 2. Those 5 lines are loaded in your computer. They are as I described them, and Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of Floor Amendment 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, being no questions, I move passage of House Bill 230 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1.
Question before the body is passage of House